Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm writing to Science versus Technology, Acharya with IIT Madras, 2023. I thought this was kind of weird because I know he talks about a lot of spirituality stuff, but why science going against technology? I'm not sure what this is about, so let's go ahead and give this video a shot.
So my question is that what are your thoughts on the developments in science and technology affecting what is right and what is wrong? Will it make it more clearer or will it make it more obscure? For example, now to take the example of like animal cruelty by eating non-veg and dairy industry. Uh, Say technology is now developing lab-grown meat and such alternatives, where now that it is making it clearer what is right. Now, even if people want to eat meat, they can eat meat without animal cruelty. But then there are also technologies which are making it more obscure. Like, for example, during the pandemic, when we were having online sessions and online exams, the technology allowed everyone to cheat in a way that would not be possible in offline exams. And they had many justifications for doing so. In a sense, what I'm trying to say is the technological development is giving us new options. So some options make it clearer that new option is right, while some options give more confusion. So I just want to hear your thoughts on how the technology and scientific developments affect what is right and what is wrong.
Okay, I don't know if it's going to go further than that. I kind of want to answer this question myself to see if I'm very much in line with what Acharya here will say. So, in terms of them growing meat in labs, the thing is, though, is that it's essentially the same. I guess the only difference is whether it grows on an animal or not. But I assume it's the same meat, and I'm assuming it still needs like a, a parent DNA, meaning that it can't just be grown out of nowhere. It has to have some DNA in it to know how to build up. Um, Again, with me and about eating meat, I don't believe there's anything wrong with it. My belief in that is there's a couple of reasons. I really want to talk about this in my members only channel because I want to dive a little bit deeper into it. But I think I've said most of it throughout my entire video. You can look up things about meat or eating meat. The reason why I don't think there's nothing necessarily wrong with it is because, especially with Advaita Vedanta, is because plants and animals, there's no difference. Now, some people have said there is a difference, though. You can see that the animal suffers, but that's an illusion, right? If you're looking at it purely Advaita Vedanta's standpoint, the world's an illusion. Nothing is really real, only Brahman is. So when you look at a plant, when you look at paint, or you look at an animal, they're all the same. You don't want to eat paint, though, but, you know, um, they're all the same. Um, and what else? There is, and my issue kind of with what people point out is like, well, animals suffer but plants don't. It's like, not quite. Plant is a living organism. It does feel pain, and mind you, if you slap it a couple of times, it's a little bit different. I mean, don't get me wrong. Plants are not like they talk to us like, ow, they don't say anything, but you'll see like the certain part of the plant will wilt, and it will wilt because of damage from you touching it or doing certain things to it. So it does have, I don't think it has pain receptors per se, but it does get damage, and it can die. Um, and you can go a step further than just being a vegetarian. My another counter argument to people who are vegetarians are, why aren't you vegan? Because the vegan argument, I believe vegan argument is more of a political statement than a health or health thing. And he's talking about animal cruelty. Some of the vegetables are grown where there are farmers who are kind of cruel to their animals. They'll whip them and spank them and stuff to get them going. Don't get me wrong; it's superficial. Hopefully, it's just something to get them going. It's like if you get spanked in the butt, it's going to hurt, but it's not going to leave anything permanent. So, but it's still, some can say that's animal cruelty. Um, and you could say, you look at, the maybe if you modernize the technology, modernize the farm, we're not using animals anymore, but using plants. Or, I'm sorry, using technology and farm equipment, like machines and stuff. Um, and then you get away from animal cruelty, but then, but with such technologies, people tend to be very prosperous if they can afford it in the first place, of course. But they tend to be able to do so much now that they have bigger fields, and the bigger issue becomes insects, where because there's so much abundance of food that insects become a problem, and then you have chemical pesticides to try to control the insect population, and then at that point you're insect cruelty. But you get my point. There's so many things you can get into. You're just like, well, I don't want to be animal cruelty. Well, guess what? If we do all vegetables, then insects become an issue, and we're sitting there spraying everything with pesticides to keep up with the food production. It's where do you stop kind of deal. I'm not saying maybe the right thing is to stop eating meat. I don't know. To me, it's the same. Again, if you look at it truly, purely in a Vedic, in my opinion, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, from a truly Vedic Vedanta standpoint, there's nothing other than Brahman. The clothes and a piece of steak, or a piece of pork, or a piece of vegetable, or a piece of fruit, all the same thing. It doesn't matter that it's, well, it's weird to say. It doesn't matter it's alive or dead. It's kind of weird to say that, honestly. But is it not true, though? That's kind of the whole point, I guess. I really kind of did deep in this one about that, but I still kind of want to kind of have a discussion about it. I don't know if this is going to be the next topic for my members only. I need to start writing it now and post it, but it'll be a members only, and I do want to talk about like karma, Advaita Vedanta, meat eating, vegetarian, kind of like this. A lot of it's going to be a repeat of what I've said in previous videos, but it's going to be more organized, hopefully.
Thank you.
These two.
Oh, real quick, the second part of his question I forgot. Technology about cheating. Well, kinda not really, because when you have a job, you not allowed to say, hold on, let me go. Ah, yes, this is the answer right here. So you're wanting to get this, and I see that the problem with that is this and this and this. You not being able to do research and stuff is not real world job experience. Don't get me wrong. Like I think Sadhguru said this, where all education is just essentially memory, how much you can remember things, and it's very true. Um, and I forget. I don't know if I've heard anyone else say it. I'm sure there are other people who have said it, but it's very true. Education is, especially with the test where you can't look up anything, is very much just memory. All it is just memory. How well you can remember things, not necessarily how well you can do things, but how well you can remember things. I think a much better application would be a bit of remembering how to remember things, but also how to do them and how to research them, how to find the answer when you need it. So having your books with you, it's like, oh, this is this problem. Let me go. So I remember that being on this page. Like, okay, all right. So this is how we do it. The difference, cheating, I would say, is you looking at someone else and looking at the answer, versus cheating as opposed to, well, let me finish this. As opposed to cheating, we're like, okay, this is the equation. Let me plug in and solve it. But maybe he's talking about like the go to Google or whatever it is. It's like 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Where they're literally typing in the question and just jotting down the answer. That I can see that being a problem. But whenever there's a problem that you need to solve, if you can find a solution in a way, I think that's not really an issue. Again, when you're in the real world, your boss not gonna say you can't look at the answer. Tell me right off the head, right off your head.
Two
I'll
are
Thank
rewind.
you.
these two are when it comes to the inner domain and how these two affect the person from inside. These two are not in the same dimension, science and technology. You see, science helps you learn the facts of the universe, including the human body and the brain, right? That's what science enables you to look into. And when that happens, a lot of superstitions are cleared and beliefs, needless beliefs, are removed.
Real quick, technology is never good or bad. It's all how someone intends to use it. Any technology can be bad if someone bad uses it in a bad way. Or even a good person intends to use it in a bad way. A good person is only good until they're bad. So, intent of the whatever it is will be whatever it is. An inanimate object cannot be good or bad initially by itself. A rock itself can be bad because someone could throw it and, hurt someone or worse.
Right? And when those beliefs are gone, then the inner center you operate from, that improves. I'll clarify through an example. Let's say you believe in racial supremacy, as the Nazis did. Right? Now you can have science that will tell you that when it comes to physicality, the races are hardly any different from each other. They were talking of the pure Aryan blood, for example. And science will tell you that when it comes to blood, there are just those 4 categories and then the RH plus, RH minus, whatever. There is nothing called an Aryan blood. You can be O, you can be B, whatever, but you cannot be Aryan. When you fall sick, you do not go out looking for Aryan blood. So the center that you had, the egoistic center that you had, that is challenged, rather clarified and purified by the findings of science. And science has helped human beings a great deal, not just materially, not just physically, but also internally. You think of the travails of the ancient man. The fellow did not know what all those things above in the sky are. Sometimes he was thinking that it's a large black canopy and all these things are little gems and diamonds studded on the canopy. And all that would lead to a lot of inner confusion. And that would translate into personal incapacity. When you do not know who you are and the world you are operating in, then everything that you think, feel or do simply goes haywire, does it not? I do not know why there is an eclipse. And I might feel that I need to slaughter my neighbor to avoid the curse of the gods. And that was indeed happening in several parts of the world. The sun appears hidden. Surely the god is demanding some sacrifice to reappear. Otherwise the god is threatening to go away. And if the sun goes away, that would be a bad thing. So what do I do? And then some learned priest comes over and says, you need to sacrifice your neighbor. Because the neighbor in some way was aspiring to be the next priest. But that's the hidden story.
I was going to say that.
So the neighbor has to be sacrificed, and all those things were happening. So backwardness in science leads to a lot of inner darkness also. Inner darkness. The one who we are inwardly, he needs science, not just spirituality. He needs science to be a great human being. The Upanishads put it this way. You need both Vidya and Avidya if you are to be of any avail. Vidya is knowledge of yourself, your own inner processes, how your thoughts operate, your mind, your feelings, your impulses, instincts, reactions, all those things, relationships, all those things. So that's Vidya. And the Upanishads very bravely and very forthrightly declare that if you do not have avidya is knowledge of the universe, which you could loosely call as scientific knowledge, that if you do not have avidya, there is no point having vidya.
Interesting. I would assume Vidya, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, would be all you really need to be a good human being. I mean, your lack of knowledge of the universe doesn't really, it's not really needed, I would assume, to be a good person, but doesn't, don't get me wrong, like it doesn't hurt to learn about things. Because being knowledgeable in the universe, for example, medicine, will help people out. You know, like if you're very good, like you know about plants and what the plants can do to numb pain or to stop bleeding, you know, or to help with certain kinds of sickness and diseases, that's just great bonus to have. But just to be a plain good person alone, I'd assume vidya would be enough.
Do not have avidya. There is no point having vidya. In fact, they declare that between someone who has only vidya and someone who has only avidya, the one having only avidya has an edge actually. And then they say the great one, the liberated one, is the one who has both vidya and avidya. If you want to cross over the ocean of ignorance, you need knowledge in both the directions. You need to know the world, which comes to you from science, and you need to know yourself, which comes from self-observation.
Ah, that's pretty neat.
So that's science for you. Now what's technology? Technology is application of science according to your own convenience or need or greed or interest or whatever, right? So science purifies the one within, whereas technology is simply a toy in the hands of the one within. Please understand. Whosoever you are, you will be pulled up if you really go deep into science. And that is the reason why we find a lot of wisdom in the personalities of a lot of eminent scientists. The same thing you cannot say for CEOs of tech companies.
Dang.
You cannot compare, let's say, a Bill Gates to an Albert Einstein.
I mean, Bill Gates was, well, he did steal, apparently. He was still, they're pretty geniuses, you know? Different kinds of geniuses. I mean, I hear like Elon Musk is a genius in our time. I mean, there are a lot of people that hate him, but like the people that kind of hate him are like the things he's doing is actually what they like, which is kind of weird. I don't know, you know. He seems like a down to earth kind of person. Honestly, he has a very childlike mind to some degree, but that just, well, for me, makes him down to earth. Like he's not some pompous a hole, you know, thinking he's better than everyone. And as a matter of fact, I did watch a video yesterday of him becoming like. There's a video game called Diablo 4, and apparently he has the world record in doing something in that game, which is kind of odd considering that he's the CEO of a company, rich, doing rocket science and you know battery powered cars and all this kind of stuff, doing a lot of crazy things. And he plays Diablo 4 and has a world record. I guess it's a world record. I don't know if it's official per se, but you know, it's crazy. He seems like a very down to earth kind of guy, and the way he talks is very odd. He seems to stutter. He seems to stutter a lot in the very beginning, but then once he gets comfortable, I guess it becomes a bit smoother. It's just he seems like he's very shy or not uncomfortable, but just not comfortable, but not in a bad way. It's just not used to it. It's the better word for it.
Very different. So technology is simply your slave. While science can make you better, in that sense, science can pull you upwards. Whereas technology is something that is always behind you. You are operating your slave called technology like a dog on leash.
A bit harsh to call it a slave. I think a tool would be better.
Getting it? So, so we need a lot of science to be better, and we need a lot of self knowledge to be better. And if we do not have science and self knowledge, which is vidya and avidya, then unfortunately technology can be a very, very dangerous thing. Technology in the hands of the wrong kind of population will prove disastrous to everybody, disastrous towards the entire planet, and self destructive for the human species. So, progress in the field of technology alone does not mean much. In fact, it can be a thing of concern.
I mean,
You
yeah.
would have heard that anecdote, the monkey and the sword and the king had this very pet monkey, and the monkey too was fond of the king, and the king went to sleep, and the monkey was watching over, and a fly came from somewhere and sat right on the nose of the king, and the monkey was appalled. Such a great king and a mere fly is perched on the nose. So what does the monkey do?
Grab the sword.
Picks up the sword and slash. What does technology do? Instead of the sword, it gives an intercontinental missile to the monkey. And that's what has happened. Inwardly, we are still monkeys, but technology has given us huge power, power that we don't even deserve, power that we cannot even responsibly wield. So, science is useful, spirituality is useful, technology can be disastrous. For technology to be of constructive use to human beings, you'd have guessed by now what is needed. It is needed that growth in wisdom keeps pace with growth in technology. If the rate of growth of wisdom lags behind the rate of growth of technology,
Technology.
then we are hurtling towards disaster.
Disaster. Yeah, I mean, that's what you're kind of seeing now. I mean, technology is advancing at such a rapid rate, and it is kind of like what happened in the past 10 to 20 years is very, very staggering. And now you in terms of just technology, not AI, but now you're looking in this terms of AI, and it's rapid. It's so rapid how it's growing. I never thought it happened so fast. And it's really crazy. There's like AI generated movies, not published in a theater, but AI generated pictures that look so real. It looks like it's the real thing. AI generated voices, AI generated just everything almost. You can even have AI, apparently AI music that AI composed, AI story writing. It's genuinely kind of crazy how advanced AI has come. I mean, considering only a few years ago, none of this stuff was possible, and now all of a sudden, what we have now. And I think Elon Musk, again, a video I just so happened to run into on YouTube. Oh, he was talking. It was because of the Diablo thing. Actually, he was kind of talking about it. He says within the next few years, something about AI and robots, something like that. I don't know. He kind of went over it quickly. I wasn't really paying. I wouldn't say I wasn't paying attention, but I just was just enjoying the film and just was ready to move on to the next one. And because I don't know, he can make that claim, and maybe it does happen, maybe it doesn't. But just yeah, I mean, the technology has outpaced essentially our understanding of it to a lot of degrees. Is AI going to be good for the future? I mean, AI is but a tool, but whenever it has that what they call this singularity, no, I forgot what it's called. Essentially, it's when AI is all of a sudden could no longer be contained. I think where it is its own being and no longer restricted in a lot of sense. I think singularity is one for one thing. I can't remember what it would be called for this one. Anyways, you know.
Do you think now the rate of growth of wisdom is matching the rate of growth of
No
technology?
way, no way. I think
No.
you too know that. You just wanted it from me, so we all know that. We all know that.
Oh, I guess let me add a little bit to that. Our technology is making our wisdom dumber and dumber, our intelligence dumber and dumber. And you know, Sadhguru kind of, in some sense, appreciate this. Now, which to some degree I agree with him. You know, what he has a hope for is a positive future where technology is handling everything for us, in which where we can live our lives. Now we can, instead of having to worry about food or shelter or anything like that, everything's handled for us by AI and computers. Well, maybe not AI, but computers, maybe perhaps even AI, where we don't have to worry about work, we don't have to worry about things, we can worry about essentially getting enlightened ourselves, you know, where we can focus on that, focus on living life.
We all know that. The monkey has at most graduated to an orangutan, but in no way are we still capable of being called human beings. And we have unmatched power, and you see what we have done with that power. Where is the forest cover? You know the number of species that are going extinct every day. We have been able to do that only because we have a lot of economic and technical power at our disposal. And we are using that to ruin this planet. In fact, it's already gone. Already gone. We are de facto in the 6th mass extinction phase. So that's what we have done.
Thank you, sir.
I don't want to be all doom and gloom or anything, but technology also has helped too. Again, but the problem is that the amount of help versus the amount of destruction is disproportional. So, meaning that we are destroying more than what we are creating or helping or healing. I mean, I guess the good thing about technology, though, or deforestation, right? Well, if everything becomes digital, there's less trees needs to be cut down for paper because, well, students no longer need paper. Submit everything electronically, and it's pretty good. Um, no more mail because we do email, less paper. Everyone shifting over to paperless, whatever it is. You're billing paperless. They'll like people are encouraging it. It's like, hey, look, we'll cut your bill. We'll give you a discount if you go paperless. I mean, why not? So this technology is helping at least with a little bit of deforestation. There's still, of course, there's still gonna be needing paper, but eventually we'll hopefully weed out of it, and hopefully that'll help reduce the cutting of the trees. But then our population is growing, in which we need more trees to build houses. So I mean, you know, you win some, you lose some. It's kind of the deal. Anyways, this is more Action to Science versus Technology. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.